Hi YouTube, s&djr. This is my first video of the new year. Yeah, before we begin, I just want to say I hope you all had a happy Christmas and good New Year parties or wherever you went to. So yeah, I'm going to get started by just doing a little bit of an update on the scenery, and then I will go on to a few decisions I've been making as well. So I'll start off with the updates. I went to a new model shop. It's about 3 times the size of my local one, a little bit further away, but not too bad. And I decided to see what was there. So I went in there and found this fencing very cheap. This is what you field fencing. As well as that, I found some black GWR styled fencing very cheap as well. And I thought I'd pick them up and do a bit more scenery. So as you can see, that there is to go around a field. When I put the goods shed back on top there, I think it looks really good. That same fencing will be used just there in the middle of the screen. There's the black fencing. I'm going to be running 3 pieces from there to approximately where the board, where's that crack in the board is, on the hill side of that piece of track, to give it a bit more, to create a field look to it. Yeah, this is the GWR styled fencing I got. As you can see, I believe it makes the station look a lot better. Sorry about this. I'm holding a light in my other hand, and I'm creating really stupid shadows. So anyway, there we go. Yeah, here's the GWR fencing I was talking about. Basically, I put it on the both sides of the station, and I think it gives it a bit more of a realistic look. I will be adding a cover or something on this side here, just a flat piece of plastic and a post going straight down. I may even buy another one of these huts and just cut away all of the plastic except from the roof and this side, and see how it goes like that. Quite a cheap thing to buy, actually. You buy them in big kits. Anyway, yes. Then obviously, station comes up. I had to do a little bit of cutting here to create clearance. I had one piece of paper mache, that's what I was trying to say, that hadn't gone flat and it was sticking out. It was in the way, so I got rid of that. Yeah, then you've got your walkway across, and then you come onto this side here, which is the other side of the station. Again, I've got the same black fencing, and I will probably be adding one canopy right in the middle. On top of that, I've done this here with the steps. I've added a little handrail. It's not quite the correct size, but it looks okay. And the fencing on the back. On top of that, I added the in the middle. Let me focus the camera. On the top shelf, on the top step, you can see there's a piece of cardboard there, which I think looks quite good. It'll be weathered to change the colour, and it should look okay. The colour's slightly out, but I'll be able to hide that. So yeah, basically that's given the steps up on one side, the ramp up on the other side. I think it looks quite good. Now, from the same shop, I also picked up this, which is a little, well, it's not little really, it's part of the Hornby breakdown crane set. It's the big wagon that it comes with that goes at the back, that you're meant to rest the boom of the crane on, which is why I brought it, because at the moment I've got a Dapol kit-built crane, but as I go around corners and stuff, the top bar just swings around and it's not locked in or anything. So this here will hold it quite nicely. Very cheap, £2. It's missing couplings at both ends. It's got the rings. But no actual hooks. That doesn't bother me at all though. It will look fine, I think. But basically, this and the crane, which stops about there, will always sit in this siding unless I decide to take it out. And I'm going to make this here look a bit more derelict, a bit more grass, longer grass and stuff around there. And hopefully that will look quite good. Now this here was a little bit of adjustment I had to make to the station. I just had to cut away quite a large chunk to give this clearance to get around the corner. Because previously I was only going to be using smaller short wheelbase wagons, but I've changed my mind about that when I saw this come up quite cheap. So that is the updates for the scenery I've been doing. Just get the light out of the way for a minute, and then I'll move on to ideas and stuff from the other side. If I just put this back, sits about there. Now you can see what I mean, but I think this looks quite good having the fencing around the back. Can't quite see all of it. So yeah, just off the top of my head, I can't think of anything else I've been doing, being Christmas and all. But what I've mostly been doing is trying to think. I've been reading articles off the internet and things like that, and I've been trying to work out what I need to do with this stuff behind me. Which, if any of you know it, I haven't started on yet. I laid down the track, approximately placing stuff, but I hadn't actually done much on it. This has come on quite a bit since then, and I made a few more decisions. I've adjusted this track here, because this point here used to come off straight up, so it was going parallel, straight off the end of this track and went straight. The only problem with that is there would be quite a sharp bend to get this corner round to the edge over there. So what I've done is I've basically just switched the point over, so it's coming off a lot gentler, which gives me a bit more of a nicer fit on the station. And yeah, on top of that, I have decided to get rid of the helix. The third helix will be gone. I won't be using it at all. So instead, I'm just going to get some pins or something underneath and hold this up. So you create a bit of a larger baseboard. Of course, that then leaves me with this one point here, spare right hand point, which will eventually, as you can see, have a very long siding on it. That's one piece of flexi track. I may decide to do something else here, possibly like a way that lorries can come up to it and get goods onto trains. Maybe a little crane or something like that. That's all there. As I said, station. Up here, I'm going to be having a 2-track engine shed. If you look carefully, you can see all the red pen everywhere. That was for me just to say what's happening. So as you can see, there's going to be a country-style village in the top corner. There'll be a few roads and stuff in there as well. And then I've got a signal box. Actually, before I go on, I'll just say about this. If anyone's interested, this is a signal box that came in the January 2012 Hornby catalogue, Hornby magazine, sorry. I really actually didn't need a signal box. It was coming at that stage where I wanted another building, and it was between housing or like signal boxes and engine sheds. So as you can see, when this came up free, I decided to buy it. It's a little cardboard kit, and I think it looks really good actually. I'm going to weather it the same style as that, but not quite as heavy. Not quite as heavy weathering. The windows will obviously be kept clean in this, whereas on the other one they won't. But it's going to sit about there. It's going to sit up high, as it is there, on a little bit of like a man-made hill. A few steps going up to it. So yeah, it should look quite good. That will be my main signal box. I may a second signal box for down the far end, but actually very unlikely. As I said, engine sheds. These two pieces of track here are going to be for storing locos. Obviously they need cutting down at the moment, they're too long. Sorry if my voice sounds funny, I've got a little bit of a cold coming on. So yeah, now this here is the last bit which I need to talk about. Actually, before I do that, I'll just say what's happening. Station here where this red pen is, crossing over station here. Obviously a bridge coming off there. As I said, engine shed there and there. Village, just grass, tracks and walking ways, waste scrap and things like that. Now this bit here I'm quite interested in doing. I saw an article on the internet, it may have been in a magazine, I can't remember, about somebody who'd done a little layout for a scrapyard. And I thought, yeah, I really would actually quite like a scrapyard in my layout. So this area here has been changed from, instead of having one very long siding, because I've decided that there will be my longest train, just 2 coaches long, which is about 8 short wheelbase wagons with a brake van on the back. That will be the longest train that'll be running. Most reason for that is this line here is more of a goods line than a passenger line, and most of my passenger trains will be those 040 little coaches you can get. So I'm probably going to be selling that third one there. But anyway, yes. So as I was saying, this is more of a wagon thing, which is how I think this will fit. So as what it is I'll have corrugated iron sheets here at the back to create a wall that will go from here right up to the end of that track. Sorry about that. I'm going to have like a entrance here is going to be, but it's going to be made out of like welded scrap pieces of iron, and it's going to have on it scrapyard or something, and that will sit just there. Sorry about that, I think I've stuck my throat. Yeah, on this side here, I have got the station obviously sitting here, but what I'm hoping to do is run a fence up close to it, as close as I can get. I think it'll look quite good, and it'll run parallel to the edge of the station, and that'll give me a large area where I can build a scrapyard. Now, if I move round, is what I'm planning on having is one of those 040 dock shunters, diesel dock shunters. I'll remove the dock word and just change it to scrapyard or something like that. And basically, what I'm going to have is, as you can see here, larger locos will bring the train either up to the station or reverse it back in here, where the little dock shunter would come out of one of these two stops and move it back into this area here. This area here is where I'm going to have a big, I think they're called a gantry crane, the crane where you've got pillars on either side and then a road on top which moves along and your crane moves left and right. And basically is what it'll be doing is have a crusher here, about in that area somewhere. It will pick up the load into the crusher, out of the crusher into a big pile. So there'll be scrap metal piles all over the place around here. And then finally at the back here, this board here will be attached up like that. For the moment, it sits down. This here will be somewhere where lorries can come up to trucks and will get filled up. So you can see the gantry train is going to be running about a foot in length all the way. I think it'll look quite good. So yeah, that's the sort of thing that's hopefully going to take up this area here, and I think it'll look all right. Anyway, yeah, these little 040 dock shunters are only about that big. They're not very big at all. So what I'm probably going to do is fill in this gap here, then build a shed on top, about here somewhere. Take out this corner here, make this track go straight, and then at the back here I'm going to build a little turntable that will be enough to spin this 040 dock diesel shunter around, and that will have a little turntable there, or a little turntable before it and then the shed. We'll have to see how that goes. So yeah, that's the idea I'm coming up with. How is it going to look? Well, it's going to have, obviously at the top over there will be a village, so that will just be housing and roads and stuff. A lot of rough grass on the top bit, then gravel and concrete around the shed on top of it. Between the two heights will be, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a solid brick wall, if I'm going to slope it, it's probably going to be brick wall. Then obviously the sidings for the wagons will be ballasted, and then have some grass placed in the ballast to make it look a bit slightly more disused than the main line. That they will have rough grass all around it, ballast and rough grass, you forget what it is. The yard area will be a bit more concrete. These two tracks here will probably be ballasted, or definitely that one will be. This one here will be partly ballasted. That one there will have ballast, but it will also have concrete, making this all run flush like this here. How this has all gone flush, I'll be doing exactly the same thing here, and I know it needs two thick cereal box cardboard in this gap here, and it'll look good. Finally, station will obviously be Well, what does the station look like? It'll probably be stone brick, grey brick, sorry. Look to the station, run on both sides. Your booking hall and things will go at this end a bit more, should leave enough room. And finally, this piece of track here, I'm still not sure what I'm doing with it, if I'm just going to leave it as a long siding like on the other side, or if I'm going to make it into an engine maintenance depot or something like that. So anyway, yeah, that's all hopefully to be coming through in the few months coming up. I hope to have the track stuck down and be able to start working on the bridge. Actually, there's another thing. As you may have been told, I've been doing quite a bit of thinking over the Christmas. The best way to make this bridge, it needs to be able to lift up, is to build it onto something solid. So this piece of track here will have come off, and there'll be a solid block of wood attached onto this, which will come up. That will create the first part of the bridge, and then will come a hinge on this block, and it will allow it to lift up and down before it attaches back down there. So anyway, yeah, that's all what's coming up in the next few months. As I was saying, hopefully I'll be able to get the bridge in soon and create the top circuit, I'm going to call this, which is obviously that curve down, normal track around, and then coming up either side of the station, then back around. So yeah, the helixes seem to be working fine, and yeah, that's about it. Obviously a bit more scenery coming up and things like that. So I'll say thanks for watching this. If you have any comments or anything, just leave them below. I always try and reply to them if it's a question or something like that. And if you would also want to, please check out my channel. I've got quite a few videos on there now, and you'll be able to see how the layout has started and up to the point it's at now. So thanks for watching.